All right, guys, this is not going to be a long video with a whole host of stocks that we're going to be watching on Wednesday for a couple reasons. One, it's Christmas, but it's not a lazy thing or I'm not going to look up charts on Christmas Day type thing. It's that, look at the SPY. Dow was down another 650 points or something like that on let me get my days right, on Monday because holiday was Tuesday. Okay, so it's just straight down, just straight down. So when you have that, you have many charts that are fairly similar, and you could scour through 8,000 charts, right? And you're not going to find anything that's like, hey, I can't wait to trade this one tomorrow. So what we do is we just log in every day and we wait for intraday setups. But we'll start with a small watch list here of a couple stocks with relative strength and a couple stocks that are, some of the bigger names that are really beaten up that could bounce too. I actually going to have the SPY itself I'm going to be watching because this is quite the anomaly. Whenever you're straight down like this, if you go to the weekly, by the way, weekly candles, and again, I don't base trades off this. I tweeted this just because it was a little bit interesting, but I certainly don't base any trades off this. But the SPY, these are weekly candles, is sitting right at the 200 week. And I always try to look for stocks that have a relationship with the moving average. And if you scroll back, and we're going all the way back to 2011, but I mean, it certainly held the 200 week there, came down and kind of tested it here, and we've gotten to it in a big hurry. Again, I don't trade off of this, but when you look at the daily, if this were a company or an index, it doesn't matter. ETF doesn't matter. It is oversold, and you could get some really nice snapback bounce. As a day trader, I'm in cash every night, so I feel bad for people that are watching their portfolios tank, and I offer no advice for that because I've been there and I resolved to never be there again. So I'm in cash every night and I just trade on an intraday basis. But certainly this is oversold. I always have to be careful because I don't want to sound like it's going to bounce tomorrow. I have no idea what it's going to do. Okay, but it is way oversold. That's all I can say, and I'm certainly thinking we might get a really nice bounce one of these days. And if I'm in front of my screens, hopefully I can participate. MRIN has been like the strongest stock on the planet. It did have a nasty reversal on Monday, but the high on Monday was $12 and the low was all the way down at $7.33. So for me, that's a huge range, and it's so strong recently that I'm already kind of thinking maybe a bounce on Wednesday. We'll see, but it's already on bounce watch because as a day trader, I've got to have something that's moving like that on my watch list. ADIL is the only trade I took on Monday. Had a nice trade in it. We got involved under $4, and the thing went up over 550. Left a bunch on the table, but it was Christmas Eve, and I really wasn't expecting to even take a trade. So that was kind of a nice, pleasant surprise. I'll show you 5-minute candles real quick for those of you that weren't in chat. It held at the open. It held that kind of big candlestick that it had on. I guess this would have been Friday. Let me get that right. Yeah. So then on Monday, yeah, it held. It gapped up a little bit, pulled back, and as it started to come back up around red to green. We were kind of all watching it. Jane from the UK, one of our members, gave a heads up before this thing broke forward. I was able to get involved, but I had it on watch and had her alert kind of as a reminder real quick, and I was able to get involved before it broke the highs. Got stuck in a halt on some. I'd already sold some just in case. Got stuck in a halt and then sold the rest, probably on this candle, but it still went up much bigger at that. I wasn't going to stay all day anyway. I had family to hang out with on Christmas Eve. But anyway, it was nice making some money. Having said all that, ADIL, very, very strong on Monday, so we're going to watch it again on Wednesday. WBA is one of those oversold stocks. It just, kind of looks like the SPY, right? Really beaten up. If it gives me an intraday setup, I'll try to play a bounce in it. Apple goes on bounce watch again. Huge name and really, really beaten up. Apple's one that could have a nice snapback bounce one of these days. HES, oil's been getting slaughtered, and HES and any other oil and gas play are just decimated too. But this is getting that almost waterfall shape where, on Monday, the range was much bigger than the 3 or 4 days range before that. And nice volume. And if you think about it, that's huge volume considering it was a half day in the market. So we're getting that, where the candle's growing, the range of the candle's growing and volume's growing. That's, again, generally a scenario where you can get a nice snapback bounce. So any rally in oil tomorrow or any time this week or next week, this, to me, is a good candidate. to play it with, looking for a snapback bounce. And then lastly, OBLN, decent relative strength too. I don't know, it's something really pretty here, but it held up fairly well after, let's see, this would have been Friday, where it ran, came all the way back down to here, but then ended up closing kind of strong, small gap down and on Monday, and you could certainly say it had relative strength, closing above its open in that weak SPY tape that we just saw. So that's it. It's a very small list, and we'll add to this list as we see morning gappers or our scanners pick up stuff on an intraday basis. And looking forward to trading tomorrow. All right, enjoy the rest of your Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone, and I'll see most of you in the chat room on Wednesday.